Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Simply Colorful FiberCast. Today's date is June 28th, 2019. My name is Lynn Marquardt. I'm your host, and we have a special guest, Josie. Josie the dog. Say hi, everyone. She doesn't know what's happening. Her dad just dropped her off. They're on their way to Cancun for a week, and so we have a lovely little girl visiting us. So, that aside, now that we've introduced you to Josie, what do you think about the mystery quilt? It's behind me. This is the Freedom Mystery Quilt. We started it 9 weeks ago, right? Was it before Memorial Day or right after? And now the 4th of July is next week. So it's red, white, and blue, and it's all about freedom. And we've been discovering and thinking about what that means to each of us in our own way. There can be a lot of different types of freedom. So today it's going to be a short show. I wanted to just go over the clue and the various design options. Oh, do you want to get down? Okay, here. I'll let you explore. Oh, there you go. Okay, so we're going to go over the clue. We're also I'm going to show you the Gail Wilson dolls that I was talking about last week that I want to make. Also want to show you the progress on the bead crochet. And then we're going to call it, so that everyone can go off and enjoy their 4th of July weekend. It's hot. It's hot here in New England. I hope that you are comfortable where you are. Okay, so the Freedom Mystery Quilt. When you put it together, if you use all of your blocks, it'll be 84 inches by 96 inches, and that is the look. That is our Freedom Quilt. And you'll recognize your compass blocks and your posy blocks surrounded by the 4 patches that make the border. Now, if you don't want to do that, you notice that in the clue, you can take your blocks and just make, what was it, 80 minus 56. So 24 more of these 4 patches. You can take your patches and make 2 quilts. So this one has all the compass blocks and this one has all the posy blocks. And if you do that, you will have an extra compass and an extra posy block. You can put it on the back. You can make it into a pillow. You can make it into a label. And those 2 quilts will each measure 60 by 72. Then you'll notice in the clue that I did again offer the free batting. So once you finish your quilt, if you want to bring it to Simply Colorful or send it, I would love to do the quilting, and I will give you the batting for free. And I did some price markups. Excuse me. The backing that I used on this one is Minky, and I put a link to it. I've actually used a Splash of Love by Anne Bright to do the quilting. I don't know if you can see that. I'll post a picture of the quilt design, but we can decide on any quilt design that you would like edge to edge for that same price. So that's enough of the sales pitch. Now, congratulations, Gloria, Anne, KB, Leah, Carol. I have been so impressed and thrilled to see all of your progress. Allie down under, and many others of you that are around there. As always, send your notes to lynn@simplycolorful.com and your progress and pictures, and I'll share them back. While we're waiting for notes to come in, so again, it's lynn@simplycolorful.com. See, let me turn on. No, my ringer's on, so I will hear that. All right. First things first. Why don't we do this? I have to thank my mother. Mom, if you're out there, thank you for getting me the right materials. I've been trying to do this crocheted rope, as everyone knows, for a few weeks now. Hey, Josie. And I made this one that's now all wet from it being so humid today, but I've been wearing it. And I made it with size 11 beads, and I didn't string the right number, so the pattern really isn't, it's red, white, and blue, but there really isn't a pattern per se. But I love it, but I wanted to figure out how to do it the right way. The join wasn't good, and all the beads were different sizes, so they didn't nestle right. Well, Mom indulged me and took me to a bead store when she was up here visiting, because she came up and we delivered the quilt to Vermont. I'll tell you about that in a minute. And we followed the pattern exactly. and it really made a difference. We went up to size 8 beads instead of the 11. I'm only doing 6 around, and we got a polyester cord that I love. It's so slippery that they suggested at the bead store. I also got a special beading needle, a bead-along beading needle that is a heavy collapsible eye needle. Was really good because you can pick up these heavy beads without having the needle flip around. Anyway, and now you crochet and you make this twist. So it's called bead crochet. If anyone wants to give it a try, let me know how it goes. It really is fun once you get it. It's really hard to do, and I never thought I would, usually we get these things. I mean, check this out. And both Mom and I tried several times, as you know. Look at all of these crochet hooks. These are as bad as the scissors that pile up. Anyway, it's hot here in New England. Let's look at the other Patriots Day thing, and then we're going to wrap up the session. I said it was going to be short tonight. I want to read you a short story about the 4th of July by Jane Bryant. And it's from her book, My Little Life, and I'll tell you how to get her book after we read the story. Okay, Gail Wilson, who also, if you haven't learned about Gail, she's a wonderful doll maker, doll kit creator. Her attention to detail is amazing. Her kits are very comprehensive, and this is no exception, I suspect. This was given to me by Kathy Plant, and I'm going to read it to you so we know what it is. It is called Miss Liberty and Uncle Sam. These two 8-inch painted cloth dolls were inspired by patriotic folk art. Josie, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah. Yeah. You're good. Do you want to come up? Want to come up and say hi? Okay, come on up. Jump out. Come on. You can do it. Okay. Hi to Carol out there, by the way. Okay. Miss Liberty and Uncle Sam. So they were inspired by patriotic folk art, incorporating these figures into objects from weather vanes to quilts. They both have real wool hair on painted and antiqued fabric bodies with noses achieved by a few stitches. Their clothing clearly identifies them with its printed stars and stripes. Miss Liberty has a gilded cloth crown and banner, while Uncle Sam, oh, this is delightful, Josie. We have people watching. They don't want to hear you. No, go lie down. Uncle Sam has an easy-to-do hat and flag, and all materials are included except the stuffing and the gold paint. Oh, boy. That means I have to go to the store and find gold paint. No, I'm kidding. I will make do with whatever. I'm sure I have gold paint here. Oh, this is fascinating. Look at all those paint colors. Where are the instructions? And look at that. Those are beautiful cloths. Very patriotic, very colonial. And look at these instructions. How many pages are there? Oh, double-sided. 1, 2. Oh, this is fun. We're going to make clothing, right? Of course we are. 3, 4, 5. Oh, this is fun. And then the 2 patterns are 6 and 7 pages. Isn't that cool? So these are going to be 8 inches tall, huh? Oh, these are going to be really fun. Well, I think, let's see. I'm just going to read you, a warning. This will be good. It is very important to follow the written instructions instead of just trying to use the patterns. Failure to do this could lead to errors that will make it impossible to make the kit as it was intended. This is Gail Wilson saying, she says, I myself am a person who doesn't like to read the instructions. so I understand the urge to dive into the project. I recommend reading the instructions through entirely before beginning. Then gather your materials and begin one step at a time, following the instructions and all measurements carefully, while keeping in mind all notes below as you work. Okay, so that, you know what I'll be doing. I'm going to be reading this in bed later tonight. So that's another patriotic thing. What are you doing for the 4th of July? Hopefully you're going to the beach, going to the pool, being somewhere where it's air conditioned. I am dripping. Kathy came by and dropped off a quilt today, and she said, "You don't have air conditioning in here?" I said, "No, not quite yet. I think this weekend we will get it hooked up. We just have a little box." Let me see who's out there, and then I'm going to read the story and let you go on your way to finish the mystery quilt. Hi to Jean down on the Cape, and Chris, hi, and KB in Pennsylvania. Who's out there? That's what Becca would say. Becca, so nice to see your note. I will watch for your quilt. I'm thrilled. I'm so pleased. I'd love to see another Becca quilt soon. Oh, Ann. Hi, Ann. She says, "Hi, Lynn." Ah! This makes my day. Lynn and FiberCasters, I managed to get it together. Woohoo! Just working on the borders. I love it. This is not a brilliant picture, as I had to lay it on my kitchen floor. Oh, Ann, look at this in a different colorway. Oh, and look at all of your scraps. Way to go. Ann, I love it. I love the purples and the greens. My mother would love this too. Oh, I could look at this for a long time. Wow. That is amazing. Thank you, Ann. Well done. Have a great weekend. Did I just see a message? KB, did you send me a message? I'm not seeing it. Okay, anyway, let's read ourselves. I want to read you a fun little story from probably the 1950s down in Connecticut. And if this doesn't remind you of Americana, I don't know what will. It is called it's called Caution Explosive by Jane E. Bryant. Settle in. In the 1950s, summertime in Connecticut blasted off with the joy of the 4th of July. Oh my goodness. KB has finished her top. Okay, we're going to read this in a minute. KB, it hadn't come through yet. That is spectacular. Congratulations. You guys have been sewing all night long. I love that. And I love your freshly cut grass. Oh, and I love the darkness. You're so good with your values. You are so good. And the mediums and the blues and the reds. That's beautiful. No, Julie, don't do that. Come on, we have to read a story, then we're going to bed. Thank you, KB. That is beautiful. Okay. Come lie down. No crying. It's called Caution Explosive by Jane E. Bryant. In the 1950s, summertime in Connecticut blasted off with the joy of the 4th of July. In June, at every crossroads between Mayberry Village and East Hartford, men threw up makeshift wooden stalls. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just going to let her out and see where she goes. Ha! There you go. I'm going to open the door. All right, we have a story to tell. Go play in traffic. I'm just kidding. Okay. I don't think she can get in trouble while we read the story. So we're in Connecticut in the 1950s. At every crossroads between Mayberry Village and East Hartford, men threw up makeshift wooden stalls, which they then stocked with as many kinds of fireworks as there were kids on Easton Street. I loved the acrid smells, the danger, the anticipation, the surprises. No matter how many I shot off, each one surprised me. It was hard to wait until it was dark so the fun could begin. Celebrating the 4th made me happy. My brother had saved his allowance since Christmas, so he could afford a large enough supply. He began stockpiling as soon as the stands opened up. He and his pals, who were all a foot taller, 10 pounds heavier, and a few years older than any of us girls, bought the largest firecrackers to tie together to make rockets and small bombs, which they shot out of cannons they built for the occasion. Jack was also allowed to buy Roman candles and cherry bombs. Roman candles were up to a foot long and came on a stick that the boys drove into the ground to launch. When lit, they looked like a rocket blasting into the sky. Spark, swish, bang. By the time the boys finished their batch for the day, my neck ached from looking skyward. For weeks, I spent my allowance on fireworks. I liked sparklers and pinwheels. Sometimes we'd line up a row of sparklers in the grass and light them all at once. Sparks shot in all directions. If I got my hand close enough, the sparks stung and sounded like an icy snow pelting my skin. Some sparklers threw plain white sparks and some threw colors. A pinwheel was like a large lollipop on a stick. Once stuck in the ground, as it burned, it spun, spraying color, light, and sparks. Pinwheels hissed and spat and clinked as they wobbled round and round. Caps, small circles of gunpowder embedded on red paper, were common as dandelions. We bought them either in squares or in rolls to load in our 6-shooters. You could explode more squares faster if you lined them up on the sidewalk and hit them with a hammer. Then you heard the explosion plus the ring of the hammer. The powder blew up, my eyes watered, my nose stung. I reached for more caps. I also liked regular firecrackers shaped like birthday candles. They were layers of red tissue paper wrapped tightly around a core of gunpowder with a fuse at the end. Dorothy, Rose, Vivian, and I were allowed to buy the small and medium sizes. We'd take turns lighting the fuse and throwing the cracker into the air. If we were in the mood for more mess and more thrills, we threw them up over our heads so they showered us with paper and sometimes sparks. Or you broke them open, poured the gunpowder on the steps, and lit it. These firecrackers came in packs with the fuses braided loosely together. We could pull off one at a time to light or shoot off the whole shebang at once. It was up to you when it was your turn. That's freedom. Wrappers on the small size firecrackers, thunder bombs read caution explosive, do not hold in hand, lay on ground, light fuse, get away, made in China. For days, beginning at dawn on July 4th and ending when the supply did, everywhere a person went, kids were blasting off firecrackers to entertain themselves, to scare each other, and to have the chance to play with matches. All our money was gone. We were half deaf. All our fingertips were singed. We had celebrated the 4th. Oh, I love that. Doesn't that paint a picture of being a child and all that excitement and the freedom from fear, the freedom from anxiety, what ifs. When you're a child, you can just enjoy. Thank you. That was by Janie Bryant from her book. And if anyone is interested in buying a copy of it, I wanted to let you know that it's a memoir based on it's called My Little Life, and it's available by contacting rantvermont@gmail.com, and it's $12 plus shipping. Rant, RANT, VERMONT ep27@gmail.com. And there are many more such vivid stories that paint a picture and actually bring you right there to Easton Street in Connecticut or other places in Connecticut and Vermont. Oh, we have a dog. The dog is here. Did I mention the dog's here for a week? This is Bob's brother, Steve, and his family are all taking a week off. They're flying in a plane down south somewhere, Mexico, I believe. And so we have Josie. So I apologize for the noise. That is Josie. She's just come and she's just getting acquainted. Her dad, Steve, just left just before we turned the camera on. So you can't predict these things. Oh, maybe she's quiet. So next time it will be July. We will be on the second half of the year. I can't believe the first half is gone. As I reflect back, it's been a wonderful 6 months. We've done a lot of Dear Jane blocks. We've done charm square quilts. We've explored that. We have a couple of patterns that are almost done that you're going to see soon. And we've made the Freedom Mystery Quilt that symbolizes freedom from all sorts of things, either that we have, that our ancestors have fought to give us, or that we're seeking in the future. And with that, I think I'm going to wrap up. Although now the dog's stopping barking. That's funny. I purposely didn't put my machine here because I didn't want to do any sewing. I just wanted to sit and enjoy these quilts, this one, and I want to share with you Anne's quilt and Karen's quilt again and see if anyone else is out there. Oh, before I say goodbye and go give that dog some water. I need to distract it. Maybe we'll go play fetch. Aww. Carol, hi Carol. She says, hope you all have had a good week. Carol says, hi Lynn and Fibercasters. She loved the Freedom design, but I'm going to add a column to it so I have a compass block in the corners. So I'm making flying geese units for some more blocks. Oh, Carol, I can't not wait to see this. Love the fruit, but I'm going to add a column to it so I have a compass block in the corners. I know exactly what you mean. So I love this. So Carol is making her quilt bigger, and I want to show you. Carol, I know that's an improvement. Great idea. So let's look at, here's KB's. See how she has a compass block in that corner and that corner, but not over here. She has a posy block in each of those corners. Because of the design, that's how it was designed. Carol is going to add an extra column of posy and compass blocks so that she has compasses in all four corners. I love that, Carol. Well planned, well done. And that should give you a queen, if not a king size quilt, right? So KB, there's KB's, and let's go look at Anne's. And I encourage everyone to give this a try. I know it's a big job, but look at that. How fun is that to look at on your bed? Okay, Josie is calling. Huh? Come up here and say hi and bye. Come here. Come here. Hang on. Oh, say hi and bye. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I hope you have a nice weekend and 4th of July, and I'll see you next Friday night right here on FiberCast. Bye. Say bye, Josie. Let's get our, there you go. I know you're not supposed to be on the table. Bye, everyone.